Good morning, it's Kylie here on MyLifestyleShow.tv. Welcome. It's great to have you here on this Monday morning. Sorry about the time change, guys, but sometimes we have to go with time zones and clients' diaries. They're busy, busy people. And just a reminder, if you haven't been on the show before, this is purely an educational program. It's about basically inspiring women entrepreneurs to fast track their success to creating a true lifestyle business that they truly deserve. And obviously through these fantastic interviews, we get to share information, ideas, tips, training, know-hows, anything about creating a lifestyle business for you guys so that you can get out there and fast track your success. And remember, it's a live interactive show, so you're welcome to ask questions. We have an expert on here for an hour who is willing to answer your questions. So don't be scared. Come out from behind your computer and ask some questions that you might want to get answered to help you with your success in your business. So today I've got an awesome speaker. She's one of my passions, I guess, because she is right behind everything that I value and that I talk about on this show. And it's Cain. Now, Caroline's known as the Freedom Seekers Business Mentor. So it's perfect because she practices and preaches everything I believe in your business, is that we should be creating more time freedom and lifestyle freedom in our businesses. So she likes to help women entrepreneurs to find the lives they want to live and build profitable, flexible businesses. She's got an awesome journey. I've been reading some of her background and her story from battling sickness since the age of 18 to, I love the experience journey you went through doing the extremes of skydiving and shark diving, things like that, and then going into studying natural health and then getting to where you are now. So Caroline's going to share a bit about her story, and then we're going to go in through today's session. Today's session is all about how to grow your freedom-based business working just 3 days a week. So really excited to have you here, Caroline. Thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for the invitation, Kylie. It's great.
Welcome. So if you want to share just a bit about your background so guys can get to know you a bit more, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, so normally actually my background, I don't bring it as far back as you just introduced, but I will for this show because you're absolutely right that it's all about, freedom and lifestyle. That's why we're here. And really it's not just creating outer freedom that you can choose your own hours and live where you want and do work you want. It's really about that personal, the way you feel about it, the inner freedom and what you can create in your life. And so really it's not just creating a business, it's a whole overhaul, which is why it's not an easy journey, obviously, because there's the inner piece is such a big part of it. And so as you said, well, first of all, I've been traveling since I was 3 weeks old. I'm part of a expat family, so we moved every couple of years. So that's the travel element has always been part of my life. And when I turned 18, I was actually given 5 years to live by doctors. And what this did is it's not like you sometimes read that, I had a flash of light and suddenly my entire life changed before me. It didn't. It was a process of about 10 years, if not a bit more, about 12 years of me getting to really know who I am and what I want and to tune into, rather than just living on automatic and what was expected of me, to really, what do I want out of life? And so I started studying natural health for my own benefit and then realized, actually, I really like doing this. Yeah, I can actually help other people with this because it made such a massive difference in my own life. It literally turned around not just my health, but my way of thinking, of taking responsibility for my life, everything like that. And so I basically started studying it and then started working part-time, evenings, weekends with a few clients, and then realized more and more that actually, you can make a living from this and you can make money from this. And so I took it from there. And then eventually when I got pregnant with my first child, brought my business online because we knew we wanted to travel as a family and I wanted to spend as much time at home as possible. And then it basically went from there. So I started off in health. And then once my business, once we were living location independently, I got more and more requests from other business owners saying, how are you doing this? And only working 3 days a week. And at the time, obviously, my daughter was a baby. How are you building your business like this? So then I shifted into that direction.
Awesome. Yeah, that's really powerful because obviously that's what, I preach a lot. Like people talk about lifestyle businesses and I I love the word lifestyle, but I also hate it at the same time, because the natural image is people think, oh, you have to live on your laptop, living on a beach somewhere. And I'm very much like you. It's not about that. It's about creating a business around your life instead, and doing the things that you love and spending time with whoever you want to, and just giving you that, I call it freedom of choice is my favorite. So yeah, really, really, really powerful in relation to that. And yeah, what an amazing journey you've been on.
Been fun.
Yeah, and you're living your walk, and that's the other thing as well, is you're living your walk, and that's what I also really value about what you've been doing. So today we're going to talk about how to grow your freedom-based business working just 3 days a week. So you're going to share some insights around that, aren't you? So we're looking at the first step to creating a freedom-based business. So where do people get started if they want to do this?
You know, and I love this question, because I think it's so easy when you think business, you know, and you get stuck in that, the business mind, and I need to create, and I need to do, and I need to be busy, and I need to, you know, it goes around the business tactics and all of that. And actually what it comes down to is you've got to know what it looks like for you. You know, what does your freedom look like? What does your day look like? What does your week look like? Because if you don't know that, you get stuck in all the trappings of building a business and all the know-how and everything. And then once you get in that, nothing is ever good enough, because actually you think you need to push more and to earn more to feel the feeling you want to feel, whereas you can't actually be there already on day one. I know it's difficult because obviously, you know, finances come into it. But if you can really plan it so that you schedule how you work and when you work around how you want to feel here and now, then of course you're enjoying the journey, because it is a journey. It doesn't just happen overnight. It takes months and years, and you're constantly putting the work in. So if you're not enjoying it, you're not going to make it. Your clients aren't going to be excited about what you're sharing. You're not going to be excited about it. And I think especially as women, we're not made to work all the time. Whether or not a woman has a family or doesn't is irrelevant. We often, you know, we need breaks. It quite frankly is what it is. We don't want to work all the time. We're not made that way. So it's really important to really look at your schedule and plan how you want to work, what your ideal average day looks like, so you can live it every day, so that you have surplus to, obviously, to be the coach or business owner or whatever it is that you do, the business owner that you want to be, and that you feel good here and now doing it. And this is really vital.
And so how do you juggle, I guess you kind of mentioned obviously finances come into that. How do you juggle that when obviously the mindset of a lot of people is that they have to work harder to earn more?
Well, one of the things that I think is really important is to actually keep your job or your part-time job when you're starting out. If it's full-time, start going part-time when you can, maybe, you know, half a day off a week, then a full day off a week, then, you know, go down to 2 days or whatever it may be. Because otherwise there's too much financial pressure there, and you'll be working, you know, day and night, literally. And the more you work doesn't mean that you actually achieve more. It just means that you're keeping yourself busy with things that can be done rather than actually doing the work that is really effective and that will bring in the next client. So, I mean, there's always stuff to do. I mean, there's a lifetime of stuff to do in any business for growth. And of course, it all needs to be done now and today. But when you start focusing on, okay, what's the next big action I need to take now in my business to get my next client, never mind the next 10, but just the next client, and focus on that. And then allow yourself to live. Once you've done the work, if you're consistently getting out there, doing the work, you will see the results. You know, so you also need to give yourself that time back to allow the seeds that you've reaped, you know, to be sown. To grow, rather.
It's interesting you say that, though, because I've had a couple of conversations with people over the last few weeks, and because obviously I do a lot of internet marketing, so people sort of, you know, want to set up sales funnels, and they, you know, they want to take their business online, which is great. But it's like you said, I think sometimes it depends where you are in your business, because a lot of people just forget the basics. You know, I was talking to someone last week, and we were going back over her business, and we were looking at her top clients and, you know, where she was at now. And I sort of said, what difference would it make in your business if you just had 2 more of those clients? And, you know, she was so busy building her sales funnels and building everything else, she hadn't forgotten that actually she just wanted 2 more clients.
Yeah,
So I said,
great.
right, let's get you 2 more clients. Look at what clients you've got now, who you can use as a case study. How can you go and approach another similar client? Or, it was just that going back to basics. And it was like, and that was going to virtually double her business. So it wasn't about creating like endless leads and creating all these sales funnels and stuff like that. It was actually just getting back to basics for an immediate result.
Yeah.
And long term, yeah, great, have a consistent flow of clients coming through on the internet and things like that. But it was just getting her out of that immediate issue that she was having with cash flow. And people seem to forget to go back to basics sometimes, don't they? Or go back to the personal touch. I think that's really important sometimes as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's all the chase for sort of the next number. And obviously, once I get there, everything will be fine. And, once you're there, you see the next possibility. You see the next mountaintop. Obviously, when you're climbing up, you just see that mountaintop. Once you're up there, you're like, oh, look, there's another one. Oh, it looks even better over there. Let's go over there.
That's true. Yeah. I'm a bit like that, I have to say. I kind of hit one goal, then it's like straight into the next one. You kind of forget to enjoy the one you're at. And so why is there a limit? You sort of talk about a limit on what mentors can teach you. Why do you feel that there's a limit on what mentors can teach you?
Yes, and this is a bit of a trick question, really, or trick sort of answer, is that really I think it's essential to have mentors and coaches along the way. Absolutely essential. I've never met one person who's done it without. But what we must remember, especially when it comes to building a lifestyle business and a freedom-based business, is that you've got to listen to yourself, because there are so many different ways of doing things, of doing anything, of growing your business, whether it's online, offline, how much of it is automated, how much of it is one-on-one, group, or, so many different options, that going back to what we spoke about in the very beginning, is it's got to feel good for you. It's got to give you a sense of inner fulfillment and freedom and satisfaction, because it's no point just having a business that brings in the money if it's not doing it in a way that excites you. And so really the limit is that you can take advice from others, and absolutely recommend that you do, but to always tune into yourself and go back to the first question that you asked me, which is, what is your ideal average day? What would you be doing? How would you be doing this? Because it's not necessarily what your neighbor would be doing to have freedom. I spoke to, had a conversation with a friend who works in corporate, and she said for her, that is freedom, because she gets her holidays paid every year. When she comes home, she doesn't have to work. On weekends, she doesn't think about it anymore. For her, and she has her check coming in, every month. That is her version of freedom. And so really it's to keep an eye on, listen to yourself and what do you want, and create your own version of it. You can look to someone else for motivation and inspiration and as a guide, but really you've got to decide what it looks like for you, or it'll never feel like a good journey either.
Yeah, I think that's a really interesting process as well, because obviously a lot of people just don't ever ask what they want for themselves, do they? It's like they're so focused on, like you said, either, just doing stuff and keeping busy, or they never really just stop and go, what do I want? They always know what they don't want. I think that's a lot of people as well with goals and things like that. They always know what they don't want, but they never actually physically sit down and ask themselves, what do they want?
Yeah. Exactly.
And people don't realize they can create that in their life and their business. And it's like, and that's a really nice one, because I haven't heard that with corporate before, but it's so true. Not everyone wants to be an entrepreneur. Not everyone wants to, build a business, or, people enjoy doing what they're doing. And it's a matter of, like you said, getting that inner satisfaction. So I guess one question for me is, if you're too much in your head a lot, like where you are just focused on figures and business and growing and stuff like that, how do you then, what's some of the steps that you go through? Or do you have sort of a morning ritual or anything like that around just getting back into your head and your feelings? Obviously you do a lot of kind of work like that. So
yeah, I mean, I actually don't have a morning ritual, because I have a nearly 3-year-old. And another baby on the way anytime soon.
Sorry, I forgot about that. You can tell I'm not a mum. I always forget the interruption.
No, but even mums post about that and things like that. And actually, I wonder how they do it, because honestly, for us, it's just impossible. I mean, obviously, the morning ritual can come later on in the day, of course. But really, it's a really good question, because I think when we do and we all do at some stages, get into our heads too much, is to really ask. I love to have my word of the year. Instead of New Year's resolutions. For example, my word this year is simplicity. Last year it was ease. And I asked myself, okay, what actually, out of all these things that are going around my head, which one will make my life simpler or my business simpler? Because obviously both are intertwined. And basically then I bring everything back to that. And even as a family, we make our decisions based on this. You know, we had an option to move from one country, you know, to another one far away, and it was kind of happening and not. And we just said, okay, is this bringing more, and this was last year, more ease into our lives or not? And then it's a very simple question. Either it is or it's not. You feel it in your body. And so that's what I do. I look at it and either think, okay, there's too much going on. There's too many ideas here. What is the one that I need? Do I actually need another client right now? Or do I need to create something that will create more space in my business, for example, or automation or something like that? So that's the first step. And then the next one is, if that one's not the relevant question to ask, what right now will bring me a greater feeling of simplicity, or whatever your word is for the year. I love it. It's so easy.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's saying, I'll just leave it all, forget it all for a day or two or a week.
Yeah, because you could define that even if you don't want to do it yearly. If you just kind of define what you want, it's like you said, what are you looking for in your life? I'm looking for more simplicity. I'm looking for, you know, less clients, but more high quality clients, or whatever you're looking for. Yeah. And then, like you said, base your decisions on all around that, because it obviously then everything will drive towards your goal for that year of what you're looking to achieve, won't it?
Yeah. Exactly.
It's a really simple process. Yeah. Ask yourself the question, does it relate to what I'm doing right now?
And also, you know, when you're in that headspace, it doesn't feel comfortable. So you can ask yourself, how do I want to feel? Yes, right now. Like, what is my best case scenario now for how I experience this moment? And then what needs to happen for that to come about?
And when you started taking your business online, because obviously, what are some of the steps that you took to create more freedom, I guess, in relation to what you were doing before?
Great question. So one, you know, you hear a lot of talk of automation and it sounds like this magic bullet, but you can't just automate all your business. You actually still need to work in it. So for me, it was setting up some systems, but to be honest, my business even now is very, very simple. And I waited quite late to put systems in place, but I started having some regularity, you know, regularity perhaps in my marketing, and having certain CRM systems to help, or invoicing systems, that kind of thing. And so that was one. And the other one was actually hiring a VA, hiring support. That made a massive difference because I'm not technical at all. I don't enjoy it. I don't want to be technical. It's not my thing. I don't want to spend time learning it either. And so really having someone there who could really support me on the bits that are not my strong point made a massive difference in freeing up time, but also mainly enjoyment. So that was a big one. Yeah.
That's really powerful, like talking about a VA, because obviously I was talking to someone on the weekend who's a property professional, and that's her whole background is property, but she wants to build her profile online a bit more. And we were talking about that you don't then have to become a online marketing expert. Yeah. Exactly. It's like you said, you can hire other people to help you do the stuff. So, okay, I'm going to really quiz you now. How did you go about finding a really good VA? I know that's going to be a question people ask.
It is. And my answer is not going to be helpful at all, because it's someone that I knew already. I'd known her online for quite some time. So it was very easy and we knew each other. She loved my work. But what I recommend is always go by recommendation, actually, because there's these websites you can look at and you can have someone based in the Philippines, you know, for not much money. And again, even if it's someone like that, it needs to come on recommendation. And there may be certain tasks that you can outsource to them, and certain tasks that actually know you need a VA, you know, who knows your business better, or who's European based or something, well, Western based or something like that. So my recommendation is, wherever you're looking, whoever you go to, is to always go by personal recommendation.
Fantastic.
And also have a thought, okay, what are the main things that really bog me down, or that I don't want to do in my own business, or that take up too much time? And then really ask that person, look, is this something that you have experience with?
Yeah, because I think that's important for me. I think that if you understand at first what you want done,
Yeah.
in place is make sure that they either experts or they know that side of the business. You know, I was talking to someone about blogging the other day because she's like, I just never get time to blog in my business. And I said, look, why don't you get someone to help you write the initial blogs, and then you just top and tail them or read them or just twerk them so they sound more like you. But they do the basic research for her. And she was like, I couldn't possibly do that. I said, yeah, you can. I said, you just got to get into that system of exactly what you want. You know, do you want them to find just like 4 or 5 key bullet points? So then you can just put the substance around it. So it was just looking at time saving.
I love that. It's all about possibilities. That's really nice.
It is, yeah. It's just looking at different ways of doing it. And yeah, like you said, using outsourcers, but yeah, and testing, I think, as well, is the other way to do it, is to test 2 or 3 different ones and see which one does the best. I did that with some blogs for I've got an internet marketing blog, which is not my focus at the moment, but I still want some blogs going on it and I don't want to be writing them. So I tested 2 or 3 different people. I gave them the same blog post and got them to write the blog post to see which one come back better, which one I related to better.
Great.
They all wrote great blog posts, but it was which one I related to. And then I chose that person, and they're doing 10 or 20 blogs for me now so that I can keep that blog going while I don't focus on it.
Perfect. Really good idea. Yeah, great.
Yes, they're really powerful. So I want to know the fastest way to creating a successful business. Share with us your inner secrets.
Well, and I look forward to hearing what you think about this, because obviously this is just my point of view. And there are different points of view. So, yeah, I'll share mine and then look forward to hearing what you say. Is that in my mind and what I do with my clients and the way that I built my business is to start off with one-on-one clients. You know, more premium level, higher level one-on-one clients. You work with fewer people at a higher level, obviously at a higher price point as well. So you're reaching your financial targets. You're not running yourself into the ground because you need fewer clients. You build up your expertise, you build up your reputation, your connections, and then you can go on and leverage from there with, if you want, group programs and e-courses and that kind of thing. Of course, it also comes down to a personality thing. Some people don't like necessarily doing the one-on-one and they just want to do group. But in terms of building a financially sustainable business, the majority of people I know, they started off doing one-on-one because it is quicker and easier to make money that way compared to doing an e-course and then having to find 100 people instead of just one person, you know, for that level of income.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that, Kylie?
I agree, yeah, and I think it gains your credibility quick. I think that's the other thing as well, isn't it? Because I think people don't realise, I think, when they take their business online, you know, it takes time to build your profile. You know, you hear all these overnights, and I come from a network marketing world online, which is even worse because you hear all these overnight success stories of riches and rah, and they always forget to tell you that they've been doing it for 3 years behind the scenes before they got rich overnight, of course. But it takes time to build that profile. And I think that's the thing. I said, no matter how, I think, successful, even sometimes if you're offline, when you then take your business online, you still have to build your tribe. You have to build your following. You know, it does take a bit of time to do it. So I think that by having that credibility offline first and having some good case studies, some good client examples, taking your business then online is so much easier as well, because you do get that you've got that live case studies. And you know, I don't think you can still go past that personal touch. You know, especially like you said, when you're coaching or consulting or whatever you're doing in your business, it's so much easier sometimes to go out and approach 4 or 5 people that may have known you, that may have met you, and you're more likely to sign them up than having to build that trust through online marketing. Because it is a process to go through, isn't it, where people have to get to know you. You know, they've got to understand who you are. There's the know, like, and trust factor online, which can sometimes take a little bit longer. Once it's built up, it's beautiful. It's like you said, then you've got a system and a process, and, you know, you've got generally an endless supply of clients as you go along. But yeah, definitely. No, I totally agree. So my question to you is, though, is if you're just getting started, and this is one I deal with quite a few newbies sometimes coming in, is you're talking about high-end programs. How do you go straight into a high-end program with confidence?
Well, and this is also a sort of a bit of a loaded question as well, because, you know, can you just go into a high-end program when you're just starting out? Do you have enough experience and that kind of thing? And that's something that, in terms of when it comes to integrity, is quite an important point for me with my clients. So it really depends, first of all, I think, on their level of experience, their level of confidence, their level of knowledge on the topic. My general way of navigating this one is really seeing with my client, okay, where do you feel you are at on the scale? You know, how much would you charge, let's say, for a 3-month program with calls once a week? Where are they comfortable? And then also sort of stretching that boundary a bit, but not necessarily putting it up to in the, you know, high thousands or something like that if they're just starting out and they don't have the practice yet and the confidence yet. Because the thing is, as a business owner, you can raise your rates whenever you want. So I'm a firm believer in getting a quicker win in the beginning so that you have the social proof that, oh my gosh, my business works. It's not a question of just getting a client and charging them whatever you can just because you can. It's a question that, you know, it takes time to build a business and it takes energy to build a business. In the beginning, you might be doing stuff and not seeing the return on it. And it can get quite, you know, it's quite ungrateful work sometimes in the beginning when you're putting everything in place and you're like, I'm out there and no one's doing anything. So really, it's often easier to get a quicker win and get the yeses in and then raise your rates quickly from there. So,
Also, I really like that strategy. Yeah. And you got to feel comfortable. Like someone said to me, like I should be starting with a $6,000 program. And I was like, I don't feel comfortable at that. So I'm going to go about $3,000 for my other program I'm launching at the moment. And that, you know, she said to me, I've got enough experience, but it's like, I didn't feel it. And it's like you said, you've got to go with what you feel as well, I think, as well, rather than just listening to everyone else.
And even if you have the experience, doesn't mean, you know, if you're happy selling at a certain level, this is where, again, you know, we've got to be so careful online because we're told that, you know, this is good, this is what you should be aiming for. And actually, if it doesn't really feel good to you, then no, you don't have to be doing it at all. You know, you don't have to be aiming for 6 figures even. You don't have to be aiming for anything at all other than what feels good for you. Saying that, you're, again, going back to the ideal average day, we've got to know how we need to be supported in our own lives to be able to be the best coach, mentor, guide, you know, business person we can, as well as person that we can be, family person, friend, you know, all of these things. And of course, we do need money to make that happen. So it's a question of balancing your confidence and also having that reality check of, okay, what do I actually need to be earning in my life and how many clients is that? How much do I need to be charging?
Yeah, and I like that process as well because a lot of people don't work backwards. Like I like to work backwards with my clients. So like I was working with someone last week and I sort of said to them, I said, you know, you want to take some of your knowledge online. So what's your ultimate income? What do you want to earn for it? Why are you doing it? And once we put the figures around it and then work backwards, she was like, I only need to sell 2 of them. You know, and it was just like, because that was all she wanted. And it was like, okay, you can do more, don't get me wrong, but let's start with why you want to achieve it first. So yeah, I like to reprogram backwards as well. It's like, where does your life, what do you want out of it? And you can always, like you said, grow it and do more as you go along. But yeah, like you said, get to that comfort zone and the enjoyment level first of what you're trying to achieve. You know, and she was trying to pay for
your eye on it. Sorry, what
And like you said, and look at the income for a specific reason. You know, she was looking at the income for a specific reason. So I said, right, so how do we cover that reason of what you want to do? She wanted to do a very high-end mastermind, which was like, you know, $5 or $6 a month, and she couldn't justify it. So I said, well, let's create the income to justify it, to cover it. So we're looking at all different angles of what you could use the income for rather than just be because someone says you have to earn more income. Yeah, I really like your thinking around, creating your life around what you want rather than what everyone else tells you they want.
Yeah, and it can be easy to get distracted and lost online because of what success, you're being told success looks like, you know, and obviously it's different for all of us because like freedom, you know, it's an inner feeling. It'll be different from one person to the next. Somebody's a city person, somebody's a country person, you know, it's just, we're all different, so.
Oh, excuse me. So what do you think some of the biggest mistakes people make are when they're starting out on this sort of process, especially taking their businesses online or creating more time freedom? What's some of the biggest mistakes that you see that we could avoid maybe?
I think one of the biggest mistakes is trying to do it alone because we can, you know, I did this when I brought my business online or in the beginning years, is that you can get really, really busy doing stuff. There's always something to do, or you can spend months, years tweaking your website, you know, and words here and changing the words. And that's not really what's going to bring the clients in the first place. or changing the images, or just spending a lot of time maybe just posting on Facebook and thinking that's what you're doing. That's a call to action. It is a call to action, but that's not really where your next clients are going to come from directly. You've got to go deeper than that. So I think really working with someone who can show you the way in terms of what you really need to be spending your time and energy on will save you a lot of time, a lot of heartache, a lot of stress on the way.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing. And also, I think especially women is see it as a cost. If I work with a coach, it's a cost. I'm losing that money. And actually, it's an investment in your business. How many businesses do you know just start off and say, oh, I can do this. I've got a diary, a computer. People are there on the internet. I don't need to spend any money, and expect to make loads of money. It's more you've actually got to invest in your business as you would for any other business. You would either invest in hardware or computers or staff. You are your staff. You need to get the support you need to get where you want to go. See it as a long-term investment. So that's one.
Mm-hmm.
Another mistake is, and this is again completely understandable, is that I see a lot of business owners start off in one area, do it for a few months or for a while, and think, okay, this isn't working, and change direction. And actually, it is, if you've got a valid reason to change direction, obviously change direction. But in the beginning, it can be, you see quite a lot of people changing, quite rapidly from one thing to another in their message. And really what you need to do is go through that part that we spoke about earlier on, where you think, no one's replying, this isn't doing anything. You've got to bust through that and keep doing it and keep showing up with the same consistent message all the time, because that's when you then see the results. So don't give up or change direction too soon. That's one of the big ones.
That's really powerful, yeah, because you do see that, don't you? And I mean, I see it even just from the technical terms sometimes, like with Facebook marketing. They'll post one Facebook advert and it doesn't work, so it doesn't work.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
doesn't possibly work for anything. It's like, no, you kind of have to test and tweak and play, and it is the same with your business as well. I think sometimes it's like it is getting clear on that message first, and knowing who you want to work with, what you want to be about in your business. And then, like you said, I did some work with Kat Laterzo. She's very much the same. She's like, stick with your message, just repeat your message, and it will go through. It's like you said, you've just got to go through that phase. Everyone has to go through that journey, don't they?
It has to keep going.
I was reminded, have you ever seen that image of, I always think about the little miner digging. There's an image that's gone around for years, I think, on Facebook and social media and stuff, with the little miner that's digging away in his little hole, and then he quits like 1 inch before he breaks through to the gold mine.
I just told a client that on a call this morning. I just described it.
It's one of my favorite pictures, because and it always happens. It's like you just see that, don't you? See so many people quit just as they're about to break through.
Yeah.
And it's exactly the same sort of thing. It's like you've just got to keep that consistent. I think consistency, what you said, is one of the big keys there, definitely.
I've just got to say, my computer's been charging all night, but it's just told me I've only got 13 minutes left.
Okay.
So I can go and get my battery. Sorry, I literally plugged it in all night on purpose. I don't know what it's doing.
That's fine. Have you got more time than 30 minutes, or do you want to go and get your battery?
I have got more time if we need more time. I don't know how long we've been on.
Before it runs out and dies.
I'll go and get it quickly now. Sorry about that.
No, that's fine. I can talk to my audience.
Yeah.
And guys, while you're on here as well, because I'm having trouble viewing the question box. So if anyone is asking questions, I apologize, but for some reason, when I bring up the page, it's not showing. So I do have an event page, or also My Lifestyle Show fan page. So if anyone's got any questions and can't get them asked, jump over to either My Lifestyle Show page and just pop it in there, and then I can see it. Or if you're registered via the event, just jump into the event page and post up the question for me. So apologies for that. I don't know why, for some reason, my computer's not viewing the comment section. Whether it's my internet connection's too slow for it, I'm not sure. But yeah, so hoping you get some awesome value out of this so far. I love what we're talking about, it's just inspiring for me to get out there and create the life that you truly want, rather than just living someone else's life all the time. I was just asking about questions because for some reason I can't see the comment box underneath the video, so I'm not sure why.
Would I be able to see them? Because I can see the box over this.
Can you see the box? Can you? Yeah, for some reason mine's not showing it. I think maybe my internet connection might be a bit slow, so it's playing around. But I've just sort of said to anyone, Facebook me or message me anyway if they've got any questions, anything anyone wants asked live, because obviously I'm getting lots of questions asked live. It's great. So I was now I've lost track where I was going to ask you then. Oh, so yeah, you mentioned about sorry, I was just reading my notes then. You mentioned about the cost versus investment. I think as women entrepreneurs, that's really valuable because we don't see. But how do you? I guess a lot of people see maybe bad experiences or they hear things. So how do you find the right mentor for yourself? What's a way to find the right mentor or coach?
And this is really important. You know, I've made that mistake before, where I thought that my business was a certain stage where I wanted to make a leap, and I ended up investing in a mentor who didn't have the same, who didn't share the same values as I did at all. And it can be really hard to work with someone like that, because also, you know, marketing, it doesn't all feel good. You've got to be doing things in a way that feels good to you. And when you feel pushed to do things that really don't resonate with who you are or aren't in alignment with who you are as a person, it can be very, very difficult and feel very constrictive, because obviously you've paid that money, you're in that relationship now. And so it's really important to work with someone at every stage of your business, whether it's the foundation or it's really the business growth or the planning, whatever it may be, to work with someone who shares the same values, who lives in a way that you want to live, for example, not exactly, but demonstrates some of those traits and habits. Because otherwise we can get into the mindset of, okay, I'm just going to work with a business person now to get the next results. And we don't realize that we have to actually implement, you know, what they're suggesting. So that's a really, really good and important question.
Fantastic. And that's really helpful as well. Yeah. Looking at ways of, finding out the values. I guess it's just asking questions. Look, and I guess again it comes back to referrals and recommendations as well. If you're looking at people, look at who they've worked with, you know, what sort of businesses have they created, what sort of models do they work with? Because if you're trying to create, you know, it was like when I wanted to create my show, I worked with someone that had a really highly successful show, because I wanted to see how she did it and what she did and how to fast track. And I fast tracked my show down, you know, I'm getting results that she's taken 12 months to get, I'm getting in 3 months. Yeah. Because I got to work with her. You know, it's all about her learning from her experience.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what it should be about, isn't it? It's like fast tracking your success, learning from their experience.
Yeah.
Rather than spending 2 years doing the hard labor that they've done.
Exactly.
Thanks very much, mentors. That's why we love them.
They spend more money as well getting there, so you might as well.
That's why we love them. Exactly. That's why everyone should have good mentors, because it does make a difference.
Yeah.
So in your business, can you tell us a bit about kind of how have you created the freedom in your business? What kind of things do you do? What kind of brings you the income and freedom in your business?
Well, being really, really clear on my ideal average day, how I want to live and experience each week, made it really clear, because then I knew, you know, what my financial goal was, what my days look like, and then exactly what I need to do to get there. So I have a very basic or simple, let's say, marketing, I won't even call it strategy because it's not always that neat, but marketing methods that I use that I know produce results. And it's a question of seeing that if you don't do anything one month, you'll notice it financially the next month. You know, so as long as you're aware of that, you can dictate how you work in your business. And so for me, it was really building up consistency, actually, of being visible, getting out there, doing something on a regular basis that got me that initial regularity in my income. And now, for example, I'm winding down for baby number 2. I still have people approaching me without me doing anything. I mean, I still send out my newsletters and do a blog. But for the past however many months, you know, I've pretty much done one promotion this year so far. What are we in, month 8 now?
Yeah.
And I've still been pretty much, you know, reaching my targets, sometimes gone over target, sometimes under target because I'm winding down. But people just approach me because over the years I've built up that reputation. So the most important thing is really getting that consistency, doing that work, especially in the beginning, And then you know what you need to do to get the results you want. Keep it simple. Once you've mastered that, then you move on to the next thing, whether it's a group program or info product or something like that.
Yeah, that's really powerful as well. Is like you said, it's keep that consistency until you start to get some results first, isn't it?
Yeah, because it can be so easy to say, oh, and I can do this. Oh, and I can do that. Yeah, there's tons of stuff you can do.
Yeah.
The thing is, you can't do them all at once, or you'll just drive yourself mad. So really do one thing, master that.
Sorry, yeah, and it's also like you said, you're not going to suit everything either. You know, it's like people say to me, "Oh my God, I have to do videos," and I said, "Well, you do, but if you're not comfortable with them to start with, you know, maybe you could just start with audio first, or you know, that you don't have to be doing what someone else is doing from a marketing point of view. You know, if you like writing, you might be better off blogging more than what you do videos if you're not 100% comfortable with them. So everyone has different mediums of marketing, don't they? But they try and master everything at once.
Exactly.
Yeah, choose one marketing method and one traffic method and focus on it first. I would say
it's like with anything in life. Like you can't focus on becoming a expert violin at the same time as becoming an expert tennis player. I mean,
that would be interesting. I'd see that. Hang on, 5.
It's true. I don't know why I chose those two. But time-wise and in your head space, I know my brother once tried to learn Spanish and Italian at the same time. Like, yes, they're similar, but it doesn't make it any easier. You're still focusing on 2 different things. It's just not possible.
Yeah, so focus on one thing and master it first.
Yeah.
That's really, really powerful.
Because freedom comes with simplicity as well, doesn't it, really?
I was just going to say,
all the time, you're not feeling free.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you about, disciplines. And, you know, what are some of the things that you do consistency without fail in your business that you know makes a difference to your business?
Always being consistent. Like, even if it's not sending out a newsletter every week, like now, for example, I'll be going on maternity leave. I've told my list that I'm not going to be blogging every single week, that they might not even hear from me in a newsletter every single week. But it's being present for people. And also, you know, when people reply, is that I reply personally, is keeping it human as well. That's one thing. And then on social media, I do share, you know, personal photos, anecdotes and things like that. And obviously having connections with other business owners. Actually, this is a really good point. I don't know if it's now is a time to bring it in, but having mastermind buddies, having other business owning friends who are pretty much where you are on their journey, you know, on the same journey, and sharing with them, speaking to them weekly or at least every other week, so that you can exchange, you know, what your ideas are, what's going on for you, that kind of thing, because we can't do it on our own. And that for me is one of my very important business practices.
Kind of set up your little support group.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really powerful.
It's really, yeah.
Yeah, because masterminding and things like that, anything about your business. Like I had a girl I did that with my show with, and we've both launched our shows. We're both in completely different areas of business, but by bouncing ideas and testing and, you know, showing what she worked, what didn't work, you know, I share with her what's not working, and we've been testing, tweaking stuff. And, you know, it means that our shows, again, have got quicker growth. And I agree with you with business. It's the same, isn't it? It's, you know, if you can then bounce ideas off of a trusted group of people that know you and understand you and get your values and get where you're going in your business, then you're going to get greater success quicker, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly.
So how did you get that support group? Was it just people you knew, or did you specifically go out and find it? Or
it's not even a group, it's one-on-one actually. So I have so 2, sometimes 3, but 2 regular ones, mastermind buddies that I've spoken to, and one of them I've been speaking to for years. I don't know, maybe 2 years now. We speak, you know, every other week together to support each other in our businesses.
Fantastic.
So it was someone that I had built a friendship with online. We haven't actually met offline yet. We share, she's also a lifestyle business owner. We have a lot in common, and it was really just, you know, should we start doing this on a regular basis to exchange and support each other? And then that was that. Easy. Free and easy.
Free and easy, love that. And I love that fact. That's really powerful message, Joe, what you've just said as well, because I have so many connections that I've got really good connections with, and people I work with a lot that I've never met, and I just love that power of the internet. It's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah. Then when you meet people, they're always taller than you think, or shorter than you think, or Yeah.
It is really powerful. That is the fun part of working across the internet, because you do get global friends as well. It's like, people say to me, "Oh, you're always talking to people from around the world," and I said, "Isn't that amazing?" Like, I love that I have conversations with people living in different locations, and it doesn't matter where they are. I can have awesome conversations with them and get to know their businesses and their life. And yeah, I love that power of the internet. I guess that's my networker. I love chatting with random people, being an Aussie, I guess. So I guess if someone was starting out today, because it's 10 to 11, so I'm conscious of your time. I know you're a busy mum as well. And so how far, we've only got a couple of months till you're due, aren't you? Is that a month or?
No, less than that. I'm
less than that.
Officially cooked next week. So then it would be whenever it wants to come.
I'm officially cooked. Sorry, that's really cute.
Yeah, so I'm due technically in about 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks, but we'll see.
Well, you're glowing then. We're very privileged to have you on here. So if someone was getting started, what's the top 5 things that they would get started with today if they wanted to redesign their business or look at where they want to go in their life?
So basically, if they've got a business already, but they want to make it more freedom-based or bring it online, or it doesn't even need to be online, actually. I mean, that just gives a different element to freedom, being able to work from home and not having to leave the house, and, you can work from wherever you want in the world. So really the first thing would be to use what you've already got, because your first clients, like for example, if you want to then start doing higher end online programs, offerings, even if it's one-on-one, most of your first clients will come from connections you already have or referrals from people that you know. So really simplify it. One of the most important first steps is to create packages, like not just selling by the hour, packages. And even if somebody is a therapist, they can still do this, instead of one-off sessions or 3-off sessions, have a bigger package. And what else can you add into it to really support your clients to achieve their goals? So that's one thing, is to simplify, because a lot of people I see in the beginning have too many different packages and trying to suit their clients best. And, oh, but we can do this option and that option, and we can change this to suit you. Don't do that. Simplify everything. You may think that you are helping your clients by doing that, but life is busy out there. There's a whole load of information coming to us all the time. The simpler you can make it for your clients by saying, look, for what you want, this is what works. This is the package, what it looks like. It's very simple. It's easy for them to say yes. If it's complicated and they've got to think about it, it's, you might have lost them. So create really, really simple and few packages in your business. That makes sense? The next one is to talk to people, tell people what you do. Have a Facebook page for your business if you don't already. Be active in groups online, people that you meet. Just start telling people about something new that you're developing or putting into place. So that was 2. And then another one would be to start a consistent client communication practice. So regular newsletters, regular either blog posts or video blogs, or if it's not that, maybe regular guest blog posting, for example. And then the next one is to make, so you said 5, yeah. So the 4th is making a regular call to action to the people who are on your list, the people who are there. Invite them into a conversation with you. That's where you're going to sell from. Really make that initial connection with people, start building up that confidence, speaking about what you do, sharing your prices. And then the last bit that I'll add on to that would be to get value out there on a regular basis. So whether it's a webinar every 2 weeks or once a month, or a series of videos or a series of blog posts or whatever it may be, to be growing your list at the same time as sharing value, so people get to know how you work, what your style is.
Perfect. Awesome. That's great, because I like to end with some practical stuff that people can get started with. So if people aren't doing that in their business now and they want to create more freedom like that, they're awesome steps just to get started. And like you said, I love your, think about your ideal day. Go back to what you
do
really
that first.
Want and think about it. So powerful. That's such a powerful message. Thank you so much for sharing that. And in relation to your lifestyle business, obviously, I normally end the question, I normally end the conversation with, what is it you love about your lifestyle business now, and where do we see you in, the next 2 or 3 years? But obviously, with a baby number 2 just about to go, there might be a slight gap in that. But if you want to share maybe something we might see from Caroline in a few years, or and what you love about the most about your business now.
What I love the most about it is exactly what you started off with, which is freedom of choice. That I'm able to choose how much time I take off as a mum and how many clients I actually do work with. Like at the moment, I'm still doing intensives because that's not a long-term commitment. I can still work with clients in a short burst. And it's basically having that level of choice to know that I can take off the time that I choose to take off, or how and when I start up work again. So it's that level of freedom that I love right now. And in a couple of years, honestly, it's funny because this happened with my daughter when she was born as well. I always have a shift in direction somehow. So I don't know how my business will look. I'm thinking there might be a group program in the next few years, because at the moment I've only been doing one-on-one because I absolutely love one-on-one. So I think I have an e-course in the works, which is taking a while. And then after that, probably a group program within the next couple of years for sure.
Fantastic.
And take it from there.
And again, that's a really powerful message, because it's like, I hear people talk all the time, because obviously I do so much internet marketing. They go, I have to have this e-course and I have to have this big group program. And it's like, no, you don't. You have to do what you love doing. And if you love VIP intensives or you love working one-on-one with your clients, then do that.
Yeah.
So really powerful, because obviously, I know you get a lot of results with your clients, and, that's where you can make some really big difference with your clients. I mean, I've seen feedback and testimonials, recommendations from you. That's why I wanted you on the show. So, you do get those results with your clients. So I know obviously you are going off to be a mum for the second time round. Are you offering anything at the moment, or are you completely just is there anything that you're working through at the moment you want to share with anyone?
But at the moment I've got 2-hour intensives. So that's really for people who, for anyone who wants to either get real clarity around their message or create some sort of business plan, as it were. Well, not business plan, because I don't even do business plans myself, but like a marketing plan or strategy, or really developing their programs, anything like that. And then I'm selling my ebook as well. That's on Amazon. So that's ongoing.
Fantastic. And I know you've given us an awesome giveaway, and I should have mentioned this right at the beginning as well, because we have an awesome giveaway that you've sent us through, and I've written down the name, and now I've I
think it's my ebook, actually, the Lifestyle Business Guide.
Oh, it is, yeah. Is that what you're selling?
So it's what I sell, but not for you people. You're getting it for free with that link.
Oh, how cool. Yeah. I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
that's a big bonus, guys. So if you're listening, you've just got her book that she sells, and I know your book sells well. I've had good feedback from it. So I'm very privileged. Thank you very much for sharing that with my audience. That's amazing. So for you guys that turned up live, that's your bonus for making the effort, for being here. Thank you. That's really, I downloaded it this morning. So I feel very privileged. So I'm going to have a read of that later on today. So thank you so much for sharing that with my audience, because that is really powerful. And I know your journey, your message, you will learn a lot from reading that. I know that people will, if they want to create more choice and freedom in their business. So thank you for sharing that. I didn't realize that was your paid book that you're selling. Thank you.
Well, it's perfect for this, for this topic. So
yeah,
people,
exactly. So. That's awesome. And I know some of you guys are. I haven't seen any questions. Can you see any questions up?
I can't actually know, and I don't know if I'm seeing everything or not.
No, I don't know whether whether maybe something's with WordPress.
I just clicked on Q&A. It says this feature is disabled.
Oh. See, now it's come back up on mine. I think something's playing around with it, because now mine's showing again, but it's not showing any questions. So anyway, I know there's quite a few people messaged me privately and sort of said, look, we're not going to be able to watch it till late tonight, because obviously normally it's at 8 o'clock. So if we get any questions or answers, what's the best way to get in touch with you, Caroline? What's the best way to contact you?
Email me at caroline@carolinecain.com. That's the easiest.
Fantastic, lovely. And I'll make sure there's a link below the video to your site as well, and obviously to the offer that you've given to the guys that turned up live. We'll only get emailed that won't go below my video this time, guys. That is purely for the people that showed up and turned up live. So thank you very much for that. Do get in touch with Caroline if you really want to create some freedom in your business, but obviously, you know, bear with it because she may be in hospital. Or
we're hoping for home birth, so let's see.
Or home birth, yeah. I was just going to say, wherever you're having your lovely baby. Yeah. That's awesome. Thank you so much for your time. Hopefully, guys, you've got some really fantastic knowledge out of Caroline today. Thank you for sharing. It's been awesome having you on the show. And I look forward to everyone creating more freedom in their business. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Kylie, for the invitation. It was great.
My pleasure. And we'll see you guys all next week. Cheers for now. Bye.